Hey there! Did you know that everything around us consists of matter? Matter is everything we can taste, everything we can smell, and everything we can touch. Whether it's solid, liquid, or gas, it is matter. But remember, it does not include heat, sound, or light. When you look closely and observe matter, you would see that it is made up of tiny particles called atoms. And when those atoms combine, it forms molecules that makes up various kinds of substances around us. Those molecules that makes up matter can be classified as elements or compound. So, what is the difference of an element and a compound? An element is a substance that consists of a single atom and cannot be separated into a simpler substance by physical or even chemical means. While compound is a substance that consists of two or more different types of atoms that are bonded together. It is a mixture of two or more elements and can be separated by chemical means. Carbon dioxide or CO2 in chemical formula. Carbon dioxide is a colorless gas and a common compound which composed of one atom of the element carbon and two atoms of the element oxygen. Its percentage composition contains 27.29% of carbon and 72.71% of oxygen. Carbon dioxide has a lot of uses, such as CO2 are used by plants to prepare food through the process of photosynthesis. It is used as a refrigerant in fire extinguishers. CO2 is also used to control the combustion. And lastly, it makes up for 18% of the human body.
How is carbon dioxide produced? Knowing the carbon cycle, we can understand the process how carbon dioxide is produced. CO2 is pulled from the air to produce food made from carbon for plant growth through photosynthesis. Carbon is transferred from the plants to animals and humans. Oxygen is inhaled and the carbon is sent back to the atmosphere through the process of respiration. When plants and animals die and decompose, some of the carbon in the soil will become fossil fuels in millions of years. Carbon moves from fossil fuels to the atmosphere when fuels are burned. Carbon moves from the atmosphere to the oceans. The bodies of water absorb some carbon from the atmosphere. What are the sources of carbon dioxide? Natural sources: decomposition, ocean release, and respiration. Human sources: cement production, deforestation, and burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas.
So now we'll move on to knowing the structure of the carbon dioxide. In writing the Lewis structure for carbon dioxide, the first thing we must do is to find the total number of the valence electron for CO2. If we look at this periodic table, we can see carbon right here at group 14 that has 4 valence electrons. And we have oxygen right here at group 16 that have 6 valence electrons. As you can see, oxygen is multiplied by 2 as carbon dioxide has 2 oxygen atoms. So 6 times 2 plus 4 has a total of 16 valence electrons. The second step is to put the least electronegativity atom at the center of our Lewis structure. So the least was carbon, and then we will put the 2 oxygen on either sides. The next step is to put 2 electrons between atoms to form our chemical bond. So we will put 2 here and then another 2 here. And now we have oxygen and carbon atoms bonded together. For the fourth step, we will complete octets on outside atoms. So 2, 4, 6. So we already used 10 and we have 6 more. So 2, 2, and another 2. So at this point, we already used 16 valence electrons. As you can see, the 2 oxygen already achieve octets, but the carbon at the center doesn't. So at the fifth step, if the central atom does not have an octet, move electrons from outer atoms to form double or triple bonds. So we will move these 2 right here. As you can see, our oxygen still achieve octet, but the carbon only has 6 valence electrons, so we will move these 2 here. So now our carbon has 8 valence electrons and achieve an octet. And still our 2 oxygen has an octet. If we want to write this as a structural formula, we could also do that, and that would look like this. And in this structural formula, the 2 lines right here are the same as these 2 pairs of valence electrons. So again, this is the Lewis structure for carbon dioxide. How about the molecular geometry of CO2? So the purple, that will be our central carbon. So we'll add 1 oxygen here with a double bond, and again add another oxygen. As you can observe closely, it has a bond angle of 180 degrees, so it gives us a linear molecular geometry. And for the electron geometry, it will still be linear since there's no lone pair on the central carbon. Once again, carbon dioxide has 16 valence electrons, has a linear molecular and electron geometry, a bond angle of 180 degrees, its polarity is nonpolar, and again this is the Lewis structure. To sum up, the study of elements and compounds is called chemistry, and studying chemistry is an essential knowledge for us as we use elements and compounds in our everyday life without knowing. Without salt, the food would not be salty. Without water, without oxygen, and without carbon dioxide, all vegetation would soon die out as almost no living things can live without it. It is the basis of our body, our food, and many productions in our daily life. And different molecules affects us in different ways, which can be an advantage or disadvantage to all of us. And one thing I know for sure, that learning it deepens our knowledge and understanding to improve the quality of living.